So in anticipation of the questions and requests that I'm going to get in terms of turning my Bitmoji classroom into a Google Classroom banner, I figured I would show you my process. So the first thing that I did was I created a copy of my original Bitmoji slide. So I just went to File, make a copy of the entire presentation because it is only one slide. Now, once you do that, and I'm going to show you the reason why it looks the way it does right now on your screen is because what you have to do is change it to the dimensions of that Google Classroom banner size. So from that hipster art teacher, I learned that the setup for your page should be 16.7 by 4.17. So I changed it for a custom setting, 16.67 by 4.17. I may have said it wrong just a second ago, but either way, and I hit apply. Okay, I've already done that, so it doesn't really matter. It's not going to change anything. And as you can see, because I've laid my original out to the dimensions of a normal slide size, it comes out all stretched. So it's not going to work really that way. So what I did was I added a blank slide, okay, and then just using my previous slide, my original, I started copying and pasting. So my first background, the donuts with the unicorn, Command C. And so I'm just going to talk now of the things that I do to walk you through the situation. So Command V, and you can see that the size is incorrect. So I'm going to resize it. And like I tell my kids, always resize from the corner. And I'm going to bring it all the way to the very edge. And then I'm going to copy this one and to arrange, rotate, and flip horizontally, and then do my best to arrange it so that it fits as close to seamless as possible. So once I've gotten it to as close to seamless as possible, I'm going to click on the first one, hold my shift button, click on the second one, and then arrange and group these together. And then Command C and Command V, and now you can see I've got it copied both sides together because now I've merged them into one unit. And I'm going to do the same thing where I try to line them up together. Now you can see I have this white edge on the end over here. So what I did was I took one. So to select just one of these squares, you double click to get the one square, and then I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste just that one square, and I'm going to bring it over to the edge. I'm going to line it up again as best as I can. Okay, and then obviously it's going to be too long, so I'm going to let me do that. Double click to get my trim tool, and then I'm going to click and drag until I see a red line. There we go, because that red line denotes the edge of my slide. Okay, so now I'm going to click on the first set, second set, and then the third one, all while holding down the shift button. And then I'm going to go to arrange and group so that now it is a single unit. And you can see I've already done that here. I've also already copied and pasted the whiteboard from my original. I added that bunting to it, and I molded those two together so they both came when I copied and pasted. And now all I'm going to do is go to my original classroom, and I'm just going to start copying and pasting so that I can get it as close to the original as possible. So Command C for my floor, and then I'm going to go to my Google Classroom, Command V, and then I can either stretch it out, and stretching it out seemed to work fine. So now I have my floor background, and I'm all set and ready to start adding in my Bitmoji and any of the other things that I'd like to add in to my Google Classroom banner so that it also represents my original Bitmoji classroom slide. So I'm going to start doing that. And again, it's just going to be a matter of going to my original, selecting the one thing that I want, Command C or Control C if you're working off of a PC, and then Command V, resizing to bring things. And then, this is how I'm just going to work on this. Now, if this whiteboard didn't work, like if it weren't long enough to hold the information that I needed, then I could search for a new whiteboard. But again, I want mine to be as close to this one as possible. So what I may do is go to this. Nope, not that. And I'm going to cut off the bottom. Right there, see how that goes. And it's a little bit more. Okay, and then that way when I stretch it, so it's just about manipulating it so that it looks the way that you want it to look. So if I don't like it, I'm just going to go and add a different background to it. So I'm going to fiddle around with this a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll go over how to add it onto your banner for Google Classroom. All right, so I've kind of fiddled around with this a little bit more, and as you can see, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out. First of all, there's a large blank space over here to the left. There's a reason for that. I'll talk about it in a second. Third, you'll notice that it's much more simple than my original Bitmoji classroom. I took out the majority of the elements and left in just the Bitmoji character, the whiteboard, and the desk. What I may do is go back and include the welcome sign. So let me do that actually now because I like that. So I just copied it and now I'm going to paste it and put it over my desk. Perfect. The fact that there was a link on it, it's not going to matter later. So I'm just going to leave it that way. The other thing that I wanted to add were the stickers that were on the back of my computer. So this one, and it's so tiny. And I'm going to take it to here. Again, the fact that I can just take that link off. And the final one is the college stickers. I'm going to Command C and then go back to my header and Command V. Take that off because it doesn't matter anyway, and bring it over so it's similar to my computer. So again, some of the elements I kept, the majority of them I got rid of, mostly because I didn't want it to be super, super busy. I just wanted it to kind of have some of the characteristics similar to my other Bitmoji classroom. And if I don't fix this, it's going to drive me bonkers. So I'm just going to do that really quick. See if I can get it a little bit more to fit. Okay, so that's good. So here's some information that I have currently on my banner that the students need to know while we're dealing with the virtual learning situation and our Google Meet classes. So those instructions are what I included on my whiteboard for this round, which means I did have to take off the bunting, but that's okay. It still gets the point across. So now what I want to do, and I just wanted to show you also too, I had copied and pasted the bookshelf, but it was just a little too much. And then this again is why I have the space to the left of my Bitmoji character, because this is something that's already embedded into my settings that I've chosen for myself to include the class period in the class itself in the class code. So anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to and now that it's the way that I like it, the next thing that I need to do is now upload it to my Google Classroom. So the one that's there currently I don't like, so I'm going to change it to what I've fixed now, just a more dialed down version of the same thing. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Download, and I'm going to download this as a JPEG. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and then I'm going to go back to my class. I'm going to click Upload Photo, and I can either drag and drop it from here, or it's also automatically saves on my desktop. I can drag and drop it from here. So now the next thing that I need to do is resize to fit. Which now that I've made everything bigger, it's not going to fit as well. So that's something I'm going to have to go back and tinker with. But let's just see how it looks right now. It actually doesn't look terrible. If I wanted to go back, I could. I just have to resize the Bitmoji character and the whiteboard and the desk to be a little bit smaller so that I could get that whole scene in there. But for the most part, I like the way it looks. So if I'd like to, I can stick to it this way. And it kind of goes in line with my Bitmoji classroom that I have created.